Why is he picking on me? Oh, don't we always do that? I don't know what did I do that was so bad? Anybody ever hear that from anybody? Well, I don't know what I did that was so bad. I don't know what I did was so wrong. Husbands and wives get that all the time. Well, I don't know why he's all upset or she's all upset. I don't know what I did was so bad. Those are people. Yahweh already knows that's our human nature, is to go, well, what did I do? Why are you picking on me? Why is he bringing all this evil against us? Evil? Didn't Yahweh already say if you don't keep his commands that the curses are going to come? Anything in line with the word of Yahweh is never going to be called evil. It's truth, right ruling, righteousness. But the people are going to call it evil. He said it would happen. It's going to happen. In the future, there's going to be this incredible event. He says it's going to be so incredible that no longer are they going to talk about. Because remember, everywhere along the way it says, I am Yahweh your Elohim who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the land of Mitzrayim. He says that's how he's always been referred to, two ways. The Elohim who brought him out of Egypt and the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's how you see it over and over again, right? This is, I am Yahweh, the Elohim of your forefathers, or I am Yahweh, the one who brought you out of Egypt. He says, no longer are they even going to say that because this new thing, this greater exodus, this event that's going to happen as I bring them back, he says, that's going to be so, the Egypt thing's going to pale in comparison. This is why we have to know our scriptures, so that when we read things, the Ruach, the Spirit, can bring to remembrance what you should. You can't bring something to remembrance if it's not already in there. Okay? None of you ever sat to go, man, I remember that, and it's something you never knew before. You can only remember something you knew. And so how can you remember something unless you put it in there in the first place? The Ruach helps connect those dots, so that when you're reading either Matthew or Jeremiah, whichever one you were reading first, it triggers the other one. Just like reading Leviticus 19 can trigger Jeremiah, or Jeremiah can trigger Leviticus 19. But you should have that ability, not ability, you should have that information already in your mind, that input already there for the Ruach to connect. And then you should be actively, openly ready for connections. As you're reading, you're going, I wonder where this is going to connect. I wonder where this is going to connect. And read each verse going, what does that connect to? See, the lies are to convince us that going down a particular path will lead to the kingdom. Just do this and do that, and you don't have to worry about that, and don't worry about this. Just keep going this way and do this, and that will lead to the kingdom. But those were lies. And going that path is really an effort in futility, because you'll be, a lot of people are going to be surprised when they get to the door and the door isn't to the kingdom. Or it's locked and they're not going to get in. Or whatever it is, whatever metaphor works for you. It's not the path that Scripture lays out. But those lies, we have to understand, were lies of not just lying to you to lead you astray, lying to you to tell you that you're in the right place when you're not, that you're doing the right thing when you're not, so that you feel safe and protected and secure when you're not. That's the worst type of lies. So you came out of the world, but then you came into a set of lies that felt good, looked good, seemed good, but really was only partial truth. And that partial truth is not going to get you where you really want to be. So now we're seeing one of the levels of turning away. He's not just talking about the stubbornness of your own heart, because all of that was talking about the I. Now he's saying we then get another level of the problem by seeking others who are going to tell us what we want to hear. We're seeking our answers in flesh. But it's not just looking to flesh for answers because we don't think Abba has it, that Yahweh has the answers, because we know that we can find someone in flesh who's going to say the answer that we really want to hear. He says, don't do that. He says, don't trust in man. He said, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his arm, whose heart turns away from Yahweh. The heart turning away from Yahweh thing should tell you that we're seeking a different answer than what Yahweh said. And so now you're going to go find on YouTube and look at every teacher teaching on a subject till you find the one that says it the way you wanted to hear it, that tells you you're right. Nothing wrong with wanting to be right, but you should be seeking a teacher that's going to say what's right, and you're going to hope to find out that you were right. Because right is right whether it matches up with you or not. But we have that pride and ego where we want others to tell us that we are right instead of seeking to be right. Right by being in line with, in congruence with the creator of the universe. And let's be cautious about getting too emotional about something until we see. Because I have people telling me, oh, we can see Yahweh's hand in this, and I can see Yahweh's hand in that. Why? You know why you say that? Because it looks like what you want it to look like. And when something looks like you want it to look like, you want it to be Yahweh's hand. I hope I'm being fair here. That people are understanding that it's very tough to know in the moment that his hand is in something. Because the heart gets in the way. It blinds us. It says, know this. I test and I prove. There's Deuteronomy 8:2 again. Yahweh's going to test and prove to see whether it's in your heart to keep the commandments. By the way, I always say that part of it, but I forget to say the first part is he's going to humble you first. Because the test really doesn't work until you first get humbled. Because until you're humbled, it's not in your heart to keep anything except whatever you want. See, it takes a humble person to have a heart that wants to do what he wants. You have to first subjugate that I. That whole pride and ego and vanity has got to be put down so that the preferences that you have are no longer in the front of your face, in front of your eyes, as filtering everything through the preferences. The only preference you should have is, Abba, what do you want? What is your desire? But let's always remember, he says, look, not only is the heart desperately sick, but Yahweh's going to search the heart. He's going to know. So when people say to me, oh, but he knows my heart, and I always look him right in the eye, he says, yes, he does, and why doesn't that scare you? Because he isn't buying the spin you're putting here. You're trying to spin it to me. I said, I'm not the one who's going to judge you in the end. Why are you spinning it to me? He knows what's really going on. I said, so yeah, you better embrace the fact that he knows your heart. And he knows at this moment, at least it looks the way it looks to me as the pastor or the rabbi teaching you, your heart is one to try to find some excuse to kind of wiggle out of doing what you're supposed to do. And Yahweh sees that as we spin things and, rational lie to ourselves. When are we going to get this message? When are we going to get this message? Because I know we're reading this going, well, that was them, that was them, that was them. Really, it's still us. I mean, I can't tell you sometimes when people call me for counsel how much I know it's because I can hear them trying to spin. Well, Rabbi, I was wondering, my family wanted to do this, and I know it's Shabbat, and blah, blah, blah. And you see, they're trying to pull at my heart. To pull at my empathy and my sympathy so that I'll feel bad for their situation, so that I'll tell them, well, I guess it's so. And I say, I understand that your family's going to be mad at you. Well, but you don't understand, Rabbi, my mother will never talk to me again. That may happen. I'm not happy about that. Doesn't make me happy to know or give me any joy to know that your mother may never speak to you again because you chose Yahweh over her. But I can't tell you that because of that fear, it's okay for you to break the commandments. I can't do that. But. There's no but. But it's supposed to be unpalatable. It's not supposed to be all wonderful, and otherwise, why would it be a curse? It's supposed to be miserable. But we live in like the country club dispersion here in America. This is like the country club, this is like Club Fed, like the prison they send the rich people and the people that where they've got cable and internet and email but they're still in prison, right? No, this is still supposed to be the cursings. It's supposed to be awful and miserable and lousy, and you're supposed to hate it. And you're supposed to also hate what got us here. You know what got us here? People doing exactly what you were about to try to do. To spin, to twist, and justify that Yahweh said something he hadn't said. That's what got us here. Doing more of it is not going to get you out of it. Because you know what? When you make the stand, you may find that not only eventually do you get forgiven by your family members, but they may actually come to respect and seek out what could you feel so strongly about that you would risk all this And maybe you need to communicate that to your family members by saying, not just, no, I can't, but saying, but you need to understand the reason I can't is because I love my Creator so much that I am more afraid to disappoint Him than you. And I don't want to disappoint you because you're a very close second. I mean, really, your family can be a very close second, but has to still be second.